So in this video today, we're really making this for the casual NRL fantasy player. So if you're somebody that doesn't want to put a lot of time into it or don't have a lot of time to put into it, but you still want to get great scores, you still want to beat your mates in your work leagues or cash leagues, but you just don't have as much time to invest in it, well, this video is for you. So this is how Rugby League Fantasy Pro, NRL Fantasy Pro can actually really help people that don't have a lot of time to put into it. So we're going to run through a number of areas of our platform today. We're going to start up in our pre-season tools. Now, the casual players often don't have detailed knowledge of all of the team's rosters. So the first things we've got in here is we're actually putting right in your hands at your fingertips all the different media sources, speculated, predicted teams for round one. So if you're not sure about a team's roster, where a player fits into it, we're making it really easy for you straight off the bat to have a look at various sources and where they see the roster being. Down here we've got our team picker. There's a number of aspects of our team picker that are really good, not only for players that love their stats but also for the casual players. So what we've got in here, right in front of you, we've got the team's buys for the year. The colour coding indicates how well they're suited to the buys. The Dolphins, for example, have buys in round 3 and 14. So, the first two major buy rounds, they're playing both of those. Whereas Storm are playing in 2 of the major buy rounds, 13 and 19. You've got what the player's priced at. We've got their first 5 rounds of the season here, and over here we've got their valuations, our projection for them. We'll talk a bit more about our projections a little bit later. That's their 12-round projection. You can have a look at their 6-round projection, 12-round projection, rest of season projection in various parts of our page, what their projected dollars per point are at that projection, and what we see their 12-round peak price difference being. So this player, Harry Grant, we don't see him having a net loss at any time during the 12 rounds. We only see him getting up to about a 5k on top of his starting price. If we have a look down here, Reece Robson, we've got him coming through at having about $91,000 value in him. So straight off the bat, this is giving you a good kind of compass of some players to look at, and also players that are being really hyped up. Are they actually as much value as what the masses think? Now, it's really easy to use. You can just select a player, pops them in. It also has some buy tools down here. We've actually got a video devoted to our team picker, so we're not going to go into a lot more detail on that in this video, but if you certainly want to have a little bit more detailed walkthrough of that, you can check out a video on our team picker as well. Coming through to our analytics pages, look, our analytics pages are great for people that really don't want to get too heavily into the stats themselves. Let's pick up a player. Let's pick up Mr. Flegler. Now we've got a whole heap of filters here, so really we're looking at him for a front row role, and what we're really interested in is going to be a starter. Let's have a look at what his performance has been when he's had a minimum of 45 minutes. Now, of course, you don't need to set any of these filters, but they're there for you and you can play with them. So what we're seeing here, 2020, 2021, 22, 2023, we can see his average minutes that fit those filters. We can see his average scoring fitting those filters. We can see straight off the bat that we've probably got about an expectation of around 42 points if he's playing up around 51, 52 minutes. Popping up here, we can also see that he's priced at 37 points. So straight off the bat there, 37 points versus 42. If he's playing around that 51 minutes, you'd be looking at about 5 points of value. So is that really as much value as what people are thinking? Don't really know. Okay, what we can also do is let's pop over to his profile page. Okay, so we've got a lot of information in our player profiles. A lot of this is really just for general league fans as well. If you just want to know about a player's awards, accomplishments, we've got more data coming into this during the year. We're a little bit busy with pre-season stuff at the moment, but there's more data to go in. Pathways information. Okay, but the critical stuff over here, let's flick over to, we've got his judiciary record, we've got his injury log, we've got his concussion log, which is becoming extremely relevant these days. We're the only online source for any of these three. And if we flick over here to his fantasy page, okay, you can see our projections for him and what he's priced at, what his break even is. At the moment, we've got a projection for him of 35.8 points. Down here, Shane Ewart is one of our fantasy legends. Shane actually won fantasy in 2021. At the moment, he's got a projection for him of 43 points. We've got more projections coming in as we get deeper into pre-season from Cooper German, Rob Fung, NRL Fantasy Amateurs. So it's not just our projection you're getting access to. We're going to have a bit of diversity in here, and the guys in here in our projections team are all top notch and really know their footy, really know their fantasy. So you can see across a number of people how they're projecting a player at. Okay, we've got we're at the moment working through our player reviews and expectations. You see these saying coming soon. These will all be in by the time the first trial game starts on February 15th. Go back to one of our earlier teams. Let's have a look at Payne Haas. We've gone through the Broncos already. Now he's a very popular player at the moment. Should he be? Okay, so his 2023 review had a career high PPM of 1.08 in 2023 and his highest fantasy average since 2020. Okay, now what you want to be really careful of is players coming off a peak season. If they're coming off a really peak season, probably they're going to have a bit of regression rather than having a bit of value. Our expectations for him, unlikely to have early value, could in fact drop some decent cash early. Does have buys in rounds 13, 16 and 24, so no buys for the first 12 rounds, so strategically he could be good in that sense. Then again, as a gun spend, I'd rather be looking for guns early that have some upside in them, and looking at players that are at cost or overpriced as being players to upgrade to later. So there's a strategic decision between do I want him for having no buys at all for 12 rounds, or would I rather try and get him a little bit cheap later, go for somebody that's got a little bit more upside early? That's a decision for you to make. But the important thing here is we're giving you really good information around this player. It's reliable information, it's researched information. We've done the numbers for you. We're also giving you diversity. So you can see that Shane Ewart's got a expected minutes of 60, expected average of 61. Cooper German at the moment, he's got him at expected minutes of 60, expected average of 64. We're coming in at an expectation of 59.5. So that gives you a very clear idea of what a player should be expected to be scoring. Now, there's some other things in here that are, other stats that we're the only ones to keep. Let's have a look at try scoring. So we're going to have a look at the Broncos in 2023. Okay, so what we've got over here, the try scoring locations, left, middle, right, and conceded, left, middle, right. There's a little bit of subjectivity here to them. The way we allocate this, it's where the try, it's really where the try mostly evolved from. So if a left winger makes a break down the sideline, cuts infield a little bit to the fullback, draws and passes the fullback to a right side centre, who then runs away from opposition, scores in the right hand corner, well, that's not actually going to be recorded as a right hand try. It's going to be recorded as a left, because it's really down that left side where the try movement really evolved. This gives you a really good idea. This is really good information to have as you're going through the season with some of your more sort of fringe back choices when you're looking at round matchups. We actually have a round matchups page here as well. This has already been set over for round one. and at the moment, because there's no data for this season, we're currently showing the last season's data. Souths are expected to be Souths are expected to be a mid-8 team, so not top 4, not bottom, kind of in the middle. And Manly versus mid-8 teams, they've been averaging 1.92 tries on the left, 0.58 in the middle, 1.83 on the right. So as we're getting through the season, you're starting to want to make decisions between, do I play this centre this week versus this team? Do I play this centre this week versus that team? This can be really useful for you to get a bit more of an idea of whether one might have a little bit more of an edge over the other in that try scoring department. The other thing we have that's really useful, we're going to speed this up a bit during the season. There's a couple of little things slowing it down at the moment, but just while I fire it up, I'll just let you know what it is. Opponent game log. So this is what you use if you want to have a look at, okay, how have left centres scored so far this season versus the Bulldogs? I've got a left centre, he's playing the Bulldogs this week. What have other left centres been doing against these guys? So we're going to turn on to centre. This is going to default to the 2023 season. Naturally, we don't have any 2024 data at the moment, and we're just going to flick this over to left edge. So what we see here is all of the left centres have played against the Bulldogs during the year. Now, this gives the players average PPM. Actually, all of our columns have floating headings here as well, something that a lot of people haven't caught up yet. So season average points per minute. So Harley Smith Shields had a season average points per minute of 0.23. And this is percentage of this round PPM versus the season average PPM. So this particular game, he was actually 26% up on what his normal scoring was. So we can see here that most players, there's a lot more green here than red through the season. Okay. And you can see what the actual full scores were. We had scores of 92 from Stephen Crichton, 55 from Herbie Farnworth, 62 from Billy Smith, 63 from Talakai. So you can see here that opposition left centres actually had a pretty good time of it against the Cowboys in 2023. Now, so some of these tools here, these are really important. Player ownerships. So we give you the ability to look at player ownerships in the current top 10, top 50, top 100, top 500, top 1000. Very important for you to keep an eye on the player ownerships in the top teams. That gives you an idea of the players that you probably really need to have and really be needing to get your hands on sometime soon. We also have other tools there for trades. So being able to look at who are the most, if we look at round 18 last year and look at the top 100 teams, we can see the number of teams that traded in. Jake Simpkin was 21, Isaiah Papali 13. This is out of that top 100. The two most traded out teams in the top players in the top 100 for that round, Connolly Lemuelu, Jack Bird and Jake Turpin. 14 of the top 100 teams traded each of those guys out. So that's another very nifty tool that can really help you out as well. Okay, so hopefully this the whole purpose of this quick little video has been to show you that we're not just a platform for people that just want to be stats tragics. We're also a platform for people that really don't want to be stats tragics. Basically, we've done it all for you, and we're giving you all of the output so that you can make decisions on players that you can trust straight up, have a lot more research behind them, are a lot more informed than just asking randoms on a Facebook page. Thanks very much for your time. Hope this has been of help to you. Definitely, if you want to have more of a closer look at our team picker tool, we have a video dedicated to that. If you want to have a look at our stats and what makes our stats different to other sources' stats, we've got a video on that as well. And remember, if you ever have any questions at all about our platform, we're on multiple Facebook accounts, multiple Twitter accounts. We're always open to people hitting us up with any questions about our platforms and what we offer at all. Thanks again for your time. All the best of luck for the 2024 season.